Remembrance Day is a solemn occasion observed each year on November the 11th. It is a day to honor and remember those who gave their lives in military service and to pay tribute to all who served during times of war. This date marks the anniversary of the 1918 armistice, which ended the First World War, and has since become a day of reflection and gratitude for the sacrifices made for our freedom. This year holds particular significance as we observe the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, a conflict that called on Canadians from every walk of life to serve and sacrifice for the peace and freedom we cherish today. On this sacred day, we pause to pay tribute to the courageous men and women who have worn the uniform, from the First World War to modern-day peace operations. We honor those who serve, those who return, and especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice. We will remember them. Few voices captured the tragedy and duty of the First World War like that of Canadian soldier, doctor, and poet, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. His words from the trenches gave the world a poem that has become the definitive tribute to those who served. While many words have resonated with us throughout the years, few have had the impact and emotional response as those in John McCrae's immortal "In Flanders Fields."
A few short years ago, millions of men died so that we might enjoy freedom and security. If we fail to keep it, we fail those whose torch was passed on to us to keep burning brightly and to be held high. If we do preserve it, we honor them, and when in our turn pass on, we will know that behind us lives a generation of free men and of free women to be the keepers of this great heritage of ours, Canada.
In this excerpt from the 1938 Glebe Collegiate Yearbook, Ian A. McCrae reflected on the hardships of the First World War. His words hold a profound connection to Glebe's modern-day project, Walking Them Home. McCrae wrote that the Canadian soldiers of the First World War passed on a torch of remembrance to his generation. That torch has been carried through the years from one generation to the next and is now in our hands. It is our turn to hold it in remembrance for all those who were lost. Join us on this journey of remembrance. Nous nous souviendrons, lest we forget.
Over the years, Glebe Collegiate Institute's history students have studied a former soldier who attended their very own school, carefully piecing together their lives, becoming custodians of their memory, and finding parallels between their lives and their own. In the spirit of remembrance, students have created a memorial walk throughout the Glebe in Ottawa, which identifies the homes of these former students and staff, and offers information about their lives and service. The Glebe community is encouraged to walk by the house of one of the fallen, scan the QR code, and learn more about their lives. Their hope is that others will join them in walking the memory of the soldier back home, ultimately walking them home. Guelph Collegiate Institute, John McCrae's former high school, honored his memory by placing a sign on their lawn, finally walking him home.
John Alexander McCrae was born in Guelph, Ontario on November 30th, 1872. His father, Lieutenant Colonel David McCrae, influenced his early interest in the military, and his mother, Janet, encouraged his studies. John had an older brother, Thomas, and a younger sister, Georgina. Alongside athletics, he showed talent for writing, poetry, and painting. McCrae was a bright student at the Guelph Collegiate Institute and earned a scholarship to the University of Toronto, where he studied medicine and graduated with a medical degree in 1898. Later, he became a respected doctor and professor at McGill University.
Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae participated in the First World War as a pathologist and army physician. He enlisted September 22, 1914, and was initially stationed at Essex Farm to treat soldiers that had been gassed during the Second Battle of Ypres.
He had been relocated to the 3rd General Canadian Hospital as a surgeon. He treated over 1,000 soldiers until he was moved in November 1916 to the 14th General Hospital.
Although John McCrae was not fighting on the front lines, he played a significant role in the war efforts, healing many wounded soldiers throughout the battles of the First World War.
John McCrae largely impacted the history of Canadian warfare with a significant poem in Flanders Fields. This poem symbolizes the sacrifices that were made by the soldiers of the First World War and all those who are fighting. John McCrae wrote this poem on May 3, 1915, as he was reflecting over his experience at war, essentially communicating the struggles faced by each and every soldier. and Flanders Fields established an influential reputation, and the poppy soon became an international symbol for remembrance.
To this day, the poppy is a part of Remembrance Day ceremonies throughout many countries, including Canada, with millions wearing one each year for the symbolic day, November 11th. And Flanders Field is dedicated to John McCrae's friend and fellow soldier, Alexis Helmer, who courageously fought in World War I and was not one of the fortunate individuals who made it back home.
Helmer was a young officer who was killed by a German shell on May 2, 1915, during the Second Battle of Ypres in Belgium. Deeply affected by the loss and struck by the sight of red poppies blooming among freshly dug graves, McCrae wrote the poem the following day.
Born to Lieutenant Colonel Richard Alexis Helmer and Elizabeth Helmer, Alexis Hannum Helmer was born at Hull, Quebec on June 29, 1892. He lived the majority of his life in his family home of 122 Gilmore Street, Ottawa, Ontario, attending Ottawa Collegiate Institute, now separated into Lisgar Collegiate Institute and Glebe Collegiate Institute.
He also did his training at the RMC in McGill, and he was part of the 2nd Battery Canadian Field Artillery, and appointed Captain A Company in McGill's first ever contingent of the Canadian Officers Training Corps, until he enlisted on September 22, 1914 at Valcartier.
This project really resonates with us, and I believe everyone studying history here at Glebe Collegiate Institute feels the same. There's something really interesting about researching someone who walked the same halls and sat in the same classrooms as we do now. He wasn't too different from us. He was a young high school student just like us, who later took the courageous step to enlist in World War I.
When you consider his age, the decision becomes even more powerful. 22 doesn't seem too far removed, but to enlist and leave your family so young feels abstract and almost unthinkable right now. It is important to recognize his bravery and courage as a profound inspiration to us all.
He could have been studying history right here many years ago, but instead we are now studying his history and recognizing his impact. The only real thing separating us from him is time. A few short months were all it took for him to trade his school books for a service rifle.
When Britain declared war on Germany, Canada, a member of the British colonies, rushed to help. John McCrae was one of the 45,000 men who volunteered for his country. John unfortunately ended up passing away at the age of 45 of pneumonia and cerebral meningitis while on active duty in Flanders Field on January 28, 1918.
Through these acts of remembrance, we ensured that the sacrifices of John McCrae and countless other soldiers are never forgotten, inspiring future generations to appreciate the freedoms we enjoy today and strive for a more peaceful world.
In conclusion, this project is meant to continue the tradition of remembrance throughout our generations. We acknowledge the sacrifices and hardships that many young soldiers went through during the war, and we continue to do our best to uphold the values they portrayed. Many young soldiers lost their lives during the war and fought for their home and loved ones, and many of them were not that different from us. They were students similar to you and me, and with the help of the Walking Them Home project, we hope to continue to realize their bravery and dedication to protect the place we now call our home. May we continue to hold the torch of remembrance high, lest we forget.
Beyond memory, the poppy is a symbol of hope and peace. It grows in difficult earth, reminding us that the renewal and a commitment to a better world can and must emerge through hope and perseverance. When you wear the poppy today, take a moment to reflect on what it represents and the tradition of remembrance to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for the better world they hoped we would build together.
I had the pleasure of actually singing in Flanders Fields by John McCrae in my educational journey in university when I was training to become a music teacher. And it was so powerful as somebody who is also a history teacher. It really resonated with me. And so when the opportunity came up to collaborate on this project, I immediately jumped at the opportunity. Working through this piece takes history from a passive experience to something that students get to actually engage with. Students now, most are pretty disconnected from the world where you would have to face the possibility of going to fight, or that you may know somebody who's an active soldier. So being able to work through in Flanders Fields, it was just such an important moment. And I thought it was imperative for us to perform this piece to allow our students to really dive into history in a new and profound kind of way.
In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the words still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We live, felt daws, our sunset glow. Loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep. The poppies grow in Flanders
This Remembrance Day, students from our Glebe dance class choreographed a piece to honor the role of women in World War II, especially the nurses who risked their lives to help others. Drawing inspiration from historical events, our students imagined what it might have felt like to step onto the battlefield and search for wounded soldiers. One of our grade 10 student choreographers selected the contemporary song that anchors the piece, drawn to its powerful sound and haunting lyrics that capture the trauma and complexity of war. Through this piece, students hope to recognize the courage and compassion of women in war, and to reflect on how these same qualities continue to shape our world today.
Another head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence caused such silence. Who are we mistaken?
If you are able, please rise for the laying of the wreaths, a moment of silence, and the playing of our national anthem. You may now be seated.
Good morning, shoppers. At 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans.
They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little child, there's no fear in her eyes. Could he not show respect for other dads who have died? Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. God forgive me for wanting to strike him. Give me strength so as not to be like him. My heart pounds in my breast, fingers pressed to my lips. My throat wants to bawl out, my tongue barely resists. But 2 minutes I will bide. It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. Read the letters and poems of the heroes at home. They have casualties, battles, and fears of their own. There's a price to be paid if you go, if you stay. Freedom's fought for and won in numerous ways. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls all over. vets at the end of the line. It's a pittance of time. It takes courage to fight in your own war. It takes courage to fight someone else's war. Our peacekeepers tell of their own living hell. They bring hope to foreign lands that hate mongers can't kill. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who go over. In peacetime our best still don battle dress and lay their lives on the line. It's a pittance of time. In peace may they rest, lest we forget why they died. Take a pittance of time.
As we conclude this ceremony, I want to personally thank you for joining us in this important act of remembrance. For me, Remembrance Day carries a deep personal significance, as my husband served in the Canadian Armed Forces. So I've seen firsthand the dedication, the sacrifice, and the commitment that our military families make alongside those in uniform. It is a commitment that touches every part of their lives. So let us carry the spirit of today forward. Let the courage, hope, and sacrifice of those we honored inspire us to build a better community and a more peaceful world. Remember their service, lest we forget.
Thank you for taking this time to reflect with us. Let us carry the spirit of their sacrifice, their courage, and their hope in our hearts today and in all days to come. Remember their service.